In 1 minute, I'm going to call on someone at random to come up and to do a 1-minute presentation. But you have only 1 minute to prepare the spontaneous talk, which is, of course, going to be about sex. 1 minute, starting now. Thinking I should pick a graduate student, or maybe not. Or maybe I'm not going to pick anybody at all. Ha! What are you supposed to say? Oh, what's the word? Psych? That's it. Psych? All right. I know, a lot of you guys knew I wasn't going to pick it. A lot of you knew I wouldn't pick anybody, right? But some of you, anybody here actually think I might pick somebody? Yes. I get so happy when I trick people. Anyway, the purpose of this is part of the experiential part of this class. I want to know your responses to these questions. If by chance you felt some internal stress, some worry, some pressure from me at the thought of coming up and speaking for a minute about sex, I want to know, where did you feel it in your body? Yes, Waganesh.
When my heart rate skill is lost.
Okay. Waganesh said her heart rate started to increase. Yes, good.
My legs felt a little bit numb.
Your legs felt numb? Okay. All right. Oh no, I can't get away. Yes, way back in the back.
My hands were clammy.
Your hands got clammy. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes when you're nervous and the hands get clammy. Well, one of the things that's true is we each tend to have our own styles of physical responses to stress. Any different ones besides clammy hands, numb legs, and the heart beating?
I felt kind of warm in my stomach.
Okay. Your stomach, your digestive juices were somehow working. Okay. All right. Anything else?
My face got really hot.
Nice.
I started feeling like
Yeah, I say nice. Nice for me to hear that, but maybe not so nice for you. So, okay. Anything else? So physical flushing.
My head hurt and I wasn't breathing very well. Like I wasn't taking deep breaths.
Yeah. Yeah. So Danielle could have maybe passed out, which might have been a liability for the university. Okay? Great examples, you guys. Great examples. Okay? So I like to ask about the physical response because we are all biogenetic creatures, right? We all have biological sides. And I think what the psychoanalyst would say, and the geneticist would say, is that we have our own characteristic ways of responding to stress. I know one of mine. I can relate to that heart going. I remember one time, I used to have trouble speaking in public. Okay? I remember one time walking 3 steps up to a podium to speak, and I'm thinking, it would have been like 300 steps. My heart rate was going so fast, and I had no breath left. So, amazing. The physical reactions. My stomach is also a bit of a problem too. And so I know those things about myself, heart, stomach. Interestingly, my dad has had a heart attack, and his dad had a heart attack, and my dad had ulcers. Okay? And so it's interesting that there seems to be some biogenetic pattern in my family of origin that would lead me down that road so that I should learn how to calm myself so that I'm not too adversely affected by those. I would just encourage you to think about, what did you feel in your body, where did you feel it, and how does that relate to some possible physical illness patterns that might be true about you and your genetic background, if you can go back and figure that out. Okay? Second question is, when you were getting ready for the sex talk, what thoughts went through your mind? Yes?
I'm not doing it. If he calls me, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, good, good. So a little resistance. Your name?
Hannah?
Hannah? A little resistant. I'm not doing it. He can call on me if he wants to. I'm not moving. Yes?
Well, I was pretty sure that you were going to have this video up there, and I was positive it was going to be.
What a great example of a cognitive response, okay? A thinking response. So, and your name in the back? So Megan is thinking, I know it's gonna be me. He's gonna call on me. Okay? What a great, not necessarily adaptive, but it's just a characteristic thought. I'm gonna get picked out. I'm unlucky, or whatever. Or lucky. Okay? Other cognitive responses. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to talk about. Then I thought about the 1 minute free association, and nothing came to mind. And then after you said time is up, then all these thoughts were running through my head when I put on the spot.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
forget.
So it's like, oh my, I've got nothing. I'm suddenly blank. I'm meditating right now. Okay. And your name?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Thanks, Lindsay.
I
Rebecca.
got really excited and I was trying to remember like technical terms and things.
Rebecca was pretty excited, trying to remember some technical terms for things. Let me just say, I was not going to call on Rebecca. Sort of had a sense of that, First person who volunteers in class, usually never invite them up to do a sex talk. It's just the basic rules of teaching. Okay, Colin.
I started weighing my odds. I'm like, well, I just went up and volunteered, so if he's calling in, that is not me.
Nice. So, a rational man, figuring his odds, right? So, okay, good, good. So now, beyond the thoughts, what behavioral impulses did you feel? Okay, other than the fact that you couldn't move your legs. But what things did you want to do? What did you want to do?
Well, I just started doodling and thinking that I get this.
Yeah. Impulse to do. Yeah. Very nice. Yes.
I was thinking, should I look at him or should I not?
Nice, nice. I noticed I didn't have a whole lot of eye contact. A lot of you guys were studying your notes like you had never seen them. It's like, oh, look at this. I wrote. I don't know what you were looking at. But yeah, in some ways that's a very cognitive thing too. What's a good strategy? Should I look him in the eye? Should I not look him in the eye? Anybody think that in your head? If I look him in the eye, maybe I'm safer. Maybe I'm not. Okay, good. It's amazing how much stuff can go on in your brain in a minute. So, other behavioral impulses, anything else?
Started making an outline.
You started making an outline. Now here we have a coper, right? Well, I'm going to maybe get called on. I'm going to have my outline ready. I'm not a procrastinator, but I'm prepared. Okay. Colin was mostly figuring his odds. Statistically, it would be unusual, improbable for them to call on me. She's doing an outline. Okay. She's thinking, should I look at him or should I not look at him? Okay, we're all in all right. He's going to call on me. I know he's going to call on me. Okay? My legs won't work. So, I just love that one. So, one more.
I started playing with my wedding band and was like, what is my husband going to say?
Yeah.
I want to talk about this.
Yeah, that's great. What my husband say about all the things I'm going to share about him. Okay. All right, so these things represent your responses during times of high demand, high stress. It's going to represent at least these things, maybe much more. But it could be the repetition compulsion, right? Well, this is just the way I do things, right? It's just my approach. I think about the probability, okay? I think, oh no, I'm going to get called on. So you just have that approach. It's your repetition compulsion. With Waganesh, she's got a physical repetition compulsion maybe, with the high heart rate. It could be defense mechanisms. I gotta say, Collins is a great one. Rationalization. Rationalization. I know you guys have heard of it, you've studied it, but it's great to be able to see it live, right? Rationalization. This is a guy who I bet, when push comes to shove, he can work himself into justifying just about whatever he wants. Okay? With statistical, with numbers even. And then the third thing you might hear is a coping response, all of which are sort of repetitive. Oftentimes our defense mechanisms are repetitive. We do them over and over again. Our coping mechanisms can be repetitive. We do them over and over again because sometimes they work pretty well. So making an outline, I think, is a pretty good coping response. So I want you guys just to take a few minutes now to talk with each other, your little small groups, about the activity and what your responses might mean about you. What's the difference? Also, another question just to ask yourselves and each other, what's the difference between a defense mechanism and a coping response? So we'll take about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll debrief, and then it'll be almost time for our break. So take some time to talk to each other.